Hello everyone. I feel bad because it's been a while since I posted a video. My first video that I was showing you is the basics of Blender, and that went well. I was still trying to figure out some of the quality settings, and that's why there's two of the same video, one in the bad quality and one in the not so bad quality, because the rendering process through Sony Vegas is really quite a hassle in HD, and so I'm trying to find something that still looks decent, and you know, maybe like 720 instead of 1080i, because I really don't need 1080i. I don't need to render for 6 hours and then upload for another 6 hours. Anyway, the reason why it was taking me so long to put up this video, which I really want to apologize for, is because the first weekend after the basics video, that we went on a vacation, and then on Monday it was actually my birthday, and then Tuesday I was supposed to be getting a new microphone in the mail. The old microphone I have learned makes awful noise now. It's impossible to get it to work with me, and so right now I'm using my laptop microphone, which I don't even know where it is on this laptop. And so I apologize for that, but I am getting a new microphone soon, and I hope you'll bear with me. So, what we did last time, I showed you some basics in Blender, and I would like to add on an extra thing or two. We talked about how to rotate it along different axes to get things just the way you want. That right there reminded me of something we should talk about. So if you're in edit mode, and I mentioned that you can select a face, the face selector here, and you can extrude it, and I thought of an example. Say, what if you wanted to extrude this face, but only the top half, or something like that? You would, if you tried to figure that out on your own, you would probably do something like, if you were to get real creative, you would have probably done something like this, and then extruded it out. But that is a little difficult and creates vertices, and would become very difficult in the animation process. So I feel kind of bad I didn't get to mention it in the other video. But to do this very easily, there is one more keyboard shortcut. Let's see, I think it was the grease pencil. No, I don't remember the button for the grease pencil. That would have been nice right about now. Grease pencil, new layer. I don't want to edit this one, so this is me forgetting how to use the grease pencil. There we go. Control plus R equals edge. Oops. Oops. It's 11:30 at night right now, and I don't want to think too much right now. I'm sorry. I think I spelled something there wrong, but anyway, Control R is edge loop, and when you hit Control R, you'll notice a purple line outlining the middle of what your mouse is hovering over, and you can switch it along different faces to make it go different directions. You can scroll up on the mouse wheel to make more, you can scroll down to make less, and you click when you want it there, and you can drag it back and forth to get the cut where you want it, and you click when you get it where you want it, or you can press the space bar. Or I thought you could press the space bar, but if not, just undo it and then put it back, and then click again. What button does that? I really feel like I should know. It's not the space bar. Okay, so that is the edge loop there, and when you click, it cuts the cube and adds more vertices along what you're doing. You can also find this right up here. No, that was the edge slide. That's if you want to fix what you're doing pretty much. Along with that feature, there is a older method of doing this which can actually be very interesting, is by pressing the K key, bringing the knife tool. So say I want to go this way, it will actually cut those points there, and then somehow it does that. Okay, I'll have to refresh up on that, but we'll get to that later. Another thing I wanted to add in the basics video is by pressing 5 on the numpad, you'll see a weird thing going on here. You have user perspective and ortho perspective. Ortho is kind of to go right against the grid. The things don't look like it's coming from a person's field of view. Things are more structured looking rather than real looking. And then lastly, I wanted to show you how to save things. Control S saves a project. It brings up a window like this. Up here you name it what you want, right before the blend, and over here you can kind of try and navigate to where you want it to go. If you want to get away from that, you can hit cancel or escape. As for rendering actual pictures, I would still recommend using a screenshot right now. Okay, so sorry that took so long, and I believe we're ready to get ready on working on the spaceship. So I'm going to go to the front perspective, and I'm going to go ahead and press 5 so that I get the nice structured thing going on here. Bring the cube up above my x-axis there, and I'm actually going to do a edge loop by pressing Control R and cutting it in half right down the middle. And I'm going to press Z to go into wireframe mode, A to deselect everything, and then I'm going to press B as in boy to make a box like this to select. And since I'm in wireframe mode, it selected all the points along that face. Now I'm going to press X to delete the vertices, and if I go back into this mode, you'll see I'll have half a cube now. And you will really thank me for showing you this. This will make everything you do in Blender 1,000 times easier. Go ahead and select all those things, and over here in this panel that gives you all these options here, I believe this is called the, which one is it? Properties? Yeah, it's the properties. Click on this wrench one here, object modifiers, hit add modifier, and do mirror. And now it is going to mirror every single thing you do on this side onto the other side. If I were to select everything and pull it away, you would see it splits it up. If I put it back and over here select clipping, then as I pull it away, it will stay connected in the middle. So you usually want things clipped, although every now and then you'll want to come back and turn it off, because once 2 points meet in the middle, such as I have clicking on right now, 2 points meet in the middle, then they become 1 point, and there's no way to put it back other than hitting undo. You can change the axes that it is duplicating, but usually you want to do it across the X there. I haven't really messed with the textures, and the first thing you're going to want to do is hit apply, but don't do that. You don't hit apply until you're completely done with what you're doing. And so we can just kind of put this back now and ignore it like we used to. And so now, like I mentioned, as we edit things on this one side, it will follow on this side. And so you only have to make half of the ship if you want it to be symmetrical, which is really nice. And so we mentioned yeah, I can't multitask right now. I mentioned in the last video that the main tools that you're gonna need is the basic grab, rotate, and scale, along with the extrusions. And now we also have the loop cut tool. Those are the basic tools you need to model something. And so I'm going to get started on a spaceship here. I'm gonna try my best to be creative with this. Please feel free to be as creative as you want. I'm going to try and answer some questions along the way. And so let's say this is kind of like the cockpit area. I'm going to go to my vertex selector and hold down shift and select these two. Go to my side view and hold these down like that, kind of make it look, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to select the bottom down here and extrude that down a bit. Back up here. Actually, as I extrude that down, I'm going to take this face and scale it outwards like this. Then I'm going to grab this face, kind of scale it forward, but let's rotate it back to 90 there, and put it forward. And let's see, what do I want to do next? It's really up to you. You can do whatever you want. Do that, and rotate my Y, give it kind of that shape in the front. Go back to my vertex, pull this middle one out and up, like that. Maybe pull this one up a bit, make it look a bit more smooth. It's kind of the front of the ship I wanted there. Go back to face, maybe come back, and here's my example, unselecting clipping, and then extruding this out, and then making these smaller like that. As you can see, it did not keep them merged in the center, so now I can hit clipping again, and that problem is solved. What happens if I rotate that back? Does that look kind of funky? No, it's okay. Let's see, what's next? I'm gonna start on the back now. Grab both of these and do... You'll find this interesting. Hit S for scale, and then let's do it along the Y and hit 0. And it flattens it, just like that. You gotta be careful when doing something like that, though. It can cause mistakes if you don't do it right. Gonna extrude that backwards. This kind of big right there. Extrude that out a little bit more. And start making that a little bit smaller. Actually, you know what would look nice on that is if I undid clipping again and extruded this out and down, and then pulled this out this way. And those kind of split off into two different turbines. Go ahead and turn clipping back on. And then something like that, maybe. Looks a little funky, but let's add some wings here. I'm going to click on the side, pull it out this way, and you can see how having a mirror on the other side just helps so much. Because if you had to go through this and actually do the whole thing yourself, it would just be so tedious, and you just wouldn't want to do it. I kind of like this wing shape here, kind of up and forward. It's kind of neat. Bring these down a bit. Maybe extrude it out one more time. Bring it down a bit more. Yeah. I was thinking about moving it. Maybe I can rotate it. Maybe that's what it needs. Like I said, you can be as creative as you want. You don't have to do this just like I am. See, that would cause problems in atmosphere. Scale that down. Let's do something weird like that. Let's see. I'm gonna go under the cruiser and do some edge loops along here and here. And grab some of these faces like this. Actually, do one more right here and move it over that way. Go to my face selector. Again, that's Control Tab if you're wondering how I'm doing that. And you can also click on these down here to switch between them. And I'm going to actually add one more edge loop on, kind of near the middle here. Let's just do it there. It's kind of making that look funky, but that's only in the edit mode that it looks funky. Yeah, we're okay. And then finally go to that face selector, grab this one, this one, this one, then maybe, come on, like these two. And I'm going to pull them up into the ship. What's going on here? Something looks a little weird. If I undo clipping and then try that, that looks really weird. Try one more time. Like, it looks neat, but it just bugs me a little bit that I don't know how I did it. What if I... Yeah, what is going on here? Well, I'll just leave it at the serendipity, I guess. I don't know why it did that, but that's serendipity for you. Pull this one down. Okay. And let's see, something's missing here. Let's say, actually, I grab these and waiting for it to let me grab that. And extrude that, go ahead and click right there, scale it down a bit, and then bring that in. Yep, just like that. Really isn't all that much to talk about here. You just gotta be creative and move things where you want them to. Kind of turn things and whatnot. And I think I'm getting pretty close here. I would like to remind you of one thing in one of my previous lessons, well, my only previous one at this point. Rotate along the X, do 0, no, do 20, went the wrong direction, okay. Rotate this way, down, something like that. Rotate along the line this way. So I think there are two things you might be wondering. One is, it kind of looks blocky, and yeah, that does get annoying sometimes. But you can actually fix that with one simple click, and I will show you that after I fix the very flat edge of the side of my ship. It's actually kind of funny because a space cruiser, the best way to actually make one would be just a straight up cube. If you look in Star Wars and stuff, there really is almost no reason for there to be those wings sticking out the sides of them. That would be only for atmosphere kind of flying, but in space you don't need wings. I still feel like there's something missing on my wings here. So if you want to make it smooth, there's a button up here that says smooth, and you click it, and it smooths things out for you. Sometimes it looks nice, sometimes it doesn't. If you don't like it, you can get flat, it goes back. But yeah, that's how you do that. The next thing you might be wondering is about adding like guns on the side of the ship. Say you want a round like Gatling gun sticking out from under the wings. You would be confused at how to turn something like this into a circle for the Gatling gun. But let's go ahead and extrude one of these out really tiny. Go like this way, and then extrude that one more time, scale it down, extrude this way down, and this is where we're going to add the Gatling gun onto. I mentioned once before about if you create an object in edit mode, it will become part of this object. So if I hit Shift A for adding something in, I'm going to go ahead and hit cylinder, and it spawned right there where the 3D cursor was. I'm going to rotate along the X 90 degrees by typing in 90 and pressing enter. Now before I even move this, I'm going to unselect clipping, so I can drag it out in both directions. And then once they're apart, you can go ahead and put clipping on again. And now I'm going to scale these down a bit, scale them along the Y, make them longer, put it down, and put it into the Gatling slot right there. Now, what do you think? Do you think they should be sticking out the front a lot? Do you think they should be further back? I think further back would be more of rocket launchers, and the front is more like Gatling gun. And so we got those there. I'm going to go ahead and smooth that as well. So now we got little turrets on the side. But I'd like to make, see how this is going to be difficult. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to go like this, see if I can work with that. I can't seem to do an edge loop over this face here. So I'm going to, I did an edge loop across these black dots over here, and then brought it up near this face, and then I drug that in, so I have a bunch of options here, and that looks kind of nice. I'm going to do another edge loop this way, that right there, and right there. Go ahead and grab my face selector here, and then about select this one, every other one, although it's going to be picky and do this thing with me again. I don't know what this is. It's quite annoying, but I don't know how to fix that at the moment, so you just gotta put up with it sometimes. I notice if you zoom in and specifically click on the black dot, it helps with that most of the time. Other times it still likes to be picky. Come on. And as I'm doing this right now, I am remembering that this won't work, and you will see why in a minute. I would normally stop, but I'm going to show you why this won't work right now. You can see that the I'm not sure what this is called. The thing that you move the stuff around with, I want to call it the axis. I kind of want to call it the 3D cursor. The 3D cursor is over here, and so this is like object selected orientation tool or something. If I were to try and move this, that would be perfectly fine. That's kind of cool, don't you think? Do I want to use that? That's more of a jet turbine. That looks really nice. I do really want to use that, but I'm going to refrain right now. If I try to rotate that, which probably also looks really awesome if I do that, rotate on the Y. That was cool. But if you do scale, it doesn't scale them individually, it will scale towards the center. That doesn't look too bad either. So I'm going to actually extrude these out slightly. Nah, not slightly. go ahead and extrude them out like that. And there's probably some sort of way to make them scale down on each individual point, but because this is a learning process for both of us, you and I can tell you honestly right now, I do not know how to do that. So I'm going to hit scale along the Y, do 0 so they're all facing forward. Can't really smooth a flat square like that. And so that's about what we can do there. I grab this point and drag it out. Maybe make it bigger for a moment, and then drag it out a little bit more, drag it out a little bit more, make it smaller. If I were to grab, man, I wish I didn't unselect these. Okay, come on, you can do this. Pew, pew. Okay, got those selected again. I'm going to extrude one more time, and I'm actually going to bring them back in to make holes in there, like that. There we go. I'm going to take them much further back though. Now it's going to look a little funky, but let's just leave it at that for right now. I'm also going to do 2 edge loops here. Grab this face right here, or maybe these 2, along with 2 on this side, and I'll go ahead and scale them inwards, and extrude, scale. Yeah, I can't extrude things in 2 different directions like that. Just gonna take these 2, extrude them in, these 2, extrude them in. I'm gonna extrude this out like that. And what if we were to add like, oops, a sweet belt that goes up into the wings. So if I extrude this out, extrude a little bit, go down, scale back up, like that, rotate it a little bit, extrude this way, extrude a tiny bit, scale the way down, go this way a bit, scale a little bit back up, scale like this, and then scale like that, go down, rotate, up slightly, go out this way, go up, even more, down, rotate, go more, go back up. That was too much. Go like this. We're getting close. Probably one more. And extend it into there, and okay, we got that nice little belt looking thing of bullets, although something came out looking a little bit funny. Now I want you to imagine how long this has taken and how long it would have taken if we couldn't do that mirror modifier there. So that kind of makes you appreciate this a little bit more. And so I believe that makes us done with our spaceship modeling. And let's see, I don't want to look at the grid right now. Being kind of picky with Blender right now. I'm sorry, Blender, I'm wanting to go to bed. Take away that grid floor and those lines for me. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and try and render an image here, even though I didn't set up the camera. Kind of neat. Still kind of wondering about this line down the middle. I think that is mostly user error. Probably had something to do with it all happened when the serendipity happened at the bottom, so I'm gonna blame it on that. So there's my spaceship. I hope your spaceship looks better than this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and save this, and in the next episode show you how to animate it. And so since we're done here, we can go ahead and hit apply, and now the whole thing is one object. So I'm going to, I can either hit file save, or since I like keyboard shortcuts, I'm going to do Control S. I'm going to go to the desktop by clicking here, which it looks like I've already done that. And then click there. Spaceship cut. And that is before the dot there, and go ahead and hit save Blender file. And now that saves the project. So I can go ahead and close this down to my messy desktop, and you see right there, there it is. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back real soon, hopefully with a microphone. And trust me, we're gonna start on some awesome things. I have a lot in mind and stuff planning. I even got notebooks out, writing down ideas. Again, thank you for watching. Tell your friends and subscribe.